Alright, this is just a quick video. I've got my elevations drawn for this house and I'm getting ready to note up the elevations, and I want to try to figure out some of my plate heights. Most of the time you can just kind of come in here and look and say that, okay, well, this is going to be a 10-foot plate height because my top plate is two 2x4 studs, and at the very top of the second one is my ceiling height, so that's also considered my plate height. But occasionally you'll get a plan on the second floor here where the ceiling height for here is 9 feet, but this plate height is actually lower because it's a look that they want. And so you've actually got this sloping piece of ceiling coming up too, and then I've got a gabled dormer window eave condition here where that, this height is still 9 feet all the way up, but the rest of this is slanted down on each of these. So in order to figure that out, I've got my elevations drawn, and so one of the elevations I need to do is the plate height for this guy. So I've already got this drawn at 10 feet, so typically what I can do is come copy this line up 10 feet, and so I have where it's going to hit at the eave that I've drawn over here. Now this pitch is slightly different than this pitch over here, but the important part is knowing where this line hits. And so I can come over here, and this is my finished floor. I can copy this up 10 feet, pull this line out, and so now I know basically where at this plate line hits at this E point. So what I can do is I can draw a line from this elevation all the way across to where it will intersect this point, and then I can just copy this and move it up to where this fascia piece hits that, and so this is my plate height for this piece right here, because the plate height always comes up past the eave. So I'm going to draw a dimension down, making sure that I go to my finished floor, not the dip. So this one's a little bit different, so it's almost 15 feet. It's just 5/16 shy, so I'm going to just go ahead and label that one as 15 feet for my plate height on this wall and on this wall. So now that I know that, I can do those elevation tags for the plate heights here. I can also go, I've got a roof plan right here for this whole thing, and I can come in and I can go back and I can put in plate heights on each of these so that when they're looking at the roof plan, the roofer knows what the plate heights are, because there's going to be some varying plate heights throughout this particular house. So let me go back to my elevation. So the next one is trying to figure out these plate heights. Again, it's the same principle. I pull this line across, which it lines up here, but what I did do is I came in and I copied up, my finished floor elevation is 12 foot and 3/4 of an inch. My lower floor is 11 feet to the plate on the front, and I'm using the 1 foot deep I wood joists with 3/4 inch plywood, so my finished floor is sitting at 12 foot and 3/4 of an inch. And so I'll copy this up the 9 feet, which is what this line is up here. The reason it looks like it's sitting a little higher on these is because the pitch on these is 14 and 12, and so it's going to come up a little bit higher than it typically would if this was laying down at a lower pitch at like 8 and 10, or excuse me, 8 and 12 or 10 and 12. So, but anyway, so this is my 9 feet, but I know that the distance technically is about this much, so I can copy that point and set it right here because this pitch matches this pitch. And so now I can come in and do a dimension from here to my foundation line, and I'm 19 foot and 3/4 of an inch. Again, I'm only a 1/4 inch off, so I'm just going to round that to 19 foot 1 as my plate line for right here. So I can come in and copy my foundation, do 19 foot 1 inch. Oops, got an asterisk in there. And so I now know where my plate line is for these. This is at the 21 foot and 3/4 of an inch. And so forth and so on. All right, and so you can see how this plate line continues all the way across to the back side where I have the elevation here. And so that's just a kind of a quick video on how to figure out where your plate line is going to be. Thank you for watching.